I sat at my first real job and stared at that retirement benefits package as if it was written in ancient Greek. Planning for a time over 40 years away simply sounded implausible. I was more worried about my weekend plans than I was about the security of my eventual future. Let me tell you why that paperwork turned out to be the most important thing on my desk that day. Think about this: every dollar you save in your 20s could be worth 10 times as much by the time you retire. That's not just some fancy math, it's the reality of compound interest working its magic over decades. I have seen countless friends kick themselves for not starting earlier, and I don't want you to make the same mistake. But for real, your 20s are a most crucial time in retirement planning. When you're young, time is quite literally money. You have this insane superpower called compound interest, and it works a lot better the earlier you start. I'm talking about the difference between retiring comfortably at 55 or working well into your 70s. When you put it like that, it's a pretty clear choice. Starting to think about retirement in your 20s is not about pinching pennies, it's about options. Maybe you'll want to change careers at 40, take a year off to travel, or start your own business. A good retirement foundation makes those dreams more achievable. I have watched several colleagues make bold life changes because they had the financial cushion to do so. Now, let's get to those retirement plans that can really set you up for success. First, you are likely to be introduced to your 401k, especially when working for larger companies. You are literally passing up free cash if you are not taking part in it through an employer matching contribution. I just remember the day I calculated out how much money I'd miss out on over my career if I skipped the company match, and let's just say that was enough to get me signing up in short order. But don't just stop at your employer's 401k, a Roth IRA can be your secret weapon for tax-free growth. The beauty with a Roth is you pay the taxes now, when you're likely in a lower bracket, and then all your future withdrawals are tax-free. Believe me, your future self will thank you for such foresight. Other often ignored goldmines in retirement planning are health savings accounts. If you have availability to one through a high-deductible health plan, well, it is like a triple tax advantage: tax-deductible contributions, tax-free growth, and tax-free withdrawals for medical expenses. And let's be frank here, healthcare does not get cheaper as we get older. I have noticed that a lot of young adults are hesitant to start investing because they think they need a lot of money. But let me let you in on a little secret: starting small is infinitely better than not starting at all. Even $50 a month can grow into a significant nest egg over time. I started with just $25 per paycheck, and it was so motivating watching the balance grow that I did my best to try and increase contributions whenever possible. The investment choices within your retirement accounts matter, too. You can afford to be more aggressive with your investments when you are in your 20s since you have time to weather any market volatility. Index funds are often a smart choice. With them, you are invested in the broad market and can keep your fees low. I have come to learn that trying to time the market or to pick individual stocks usually results in worse outcomes than simply staying consistent with index fund investments. One of the most ignored paths in retirement planning is that of inflation protection. The money you get will very strongly change in purchasing power over decades, and that is why the growth of investments is so important. It's not just saving for retirement, but saving your future buying power. I always remind myself that today's $100 might only buy $50 worth of goods by the time I retire. Now, the elephant in the room: debt. A lot of young adults are facing student loans, credit card debt, or both. While you definitely want to pay off high-interest debt, it shouldn't necessarily hold you back from starting retirement savings in their entirety. The approach that has worked for me is finding some sort of balance, perhaps paying extra on debt while still contributing enough to get an employer match. The psychology underlying saving for retirement in your 20s is fascinating. It involves envisioning your future self as a real person with real needs. I think about my retired self thanking my younger self for the foresight to save and invest early. This mental exercise helps to make the concept of retirement less abstract and more meaningful. Other areas for the young adult to consider besides the general retirement accounts include diversification. Real estate investment can be a powerful long-term wealth builder. Whether it be saving up for a down payment on your first home or exploring real estate investment trusts, better known as REITs, property can give appreciation and possible rental income during the retirement years. Speaking of diversification, let's talk about side hustles. Your 20s are a great time to start exploring extra income streams. Every extra dollar you earn from a side gig could be funneled into your retirement savings. I started freelancing on weekends, and those extra contributions made a surprisingly big difference in my retirement accounts over time. Technology has made retirement planning easier than ever. Seriously, there are hundreds of apps and online platforms out there to help you track your progress, set goals, and stay motivated. I use a few apps to track my investments, and the visual growth of my nest egg keeps me committed to my retirement goals. One of the most frequently underutilized strategies is to take advantage of catch-up contributions at an older age. Although this won't be relevant in your 20s, the full spectrum of retirement planning options opens up your choices for better decision-making early in life. The government allows additional contributions to retirement accounts for those over 50, which can be a much-wanted tool for boosting your savings later in life. Life insurance may not be the intuitive retirement planning tool, but there are some policy types that offer both protection and investment opportunities. Even though term life usually satisfies the needs of most young adults, understanding how these different insurance products work will help you make an informed decision on your overall financial strategy. The impact of taxes on your retirement savings cannot be overstated. Strategic tax planning in your 20s can save you thousands of dollars over your lifetime. This may involve balancing contributions between traditional and Roth accounts, understanding tax loss harvesting, or maximizing deductions. I have learned that even basic tax knowledge will help in making better retirement planning decisions. Social Security should not be relied on as a person's only retirement, but it is good to know how it works. The more one earns and pays into the system during working years, the higher the benefits will be upon retirement. With the long-term challenges facing the system, though, it makes sense to look at Social Security as just part of the retirement plan. Retirement planning isn't about the numbers, it's about creating the future you want. The good news is your 20s are the perfect time in life to create healthy financial habits that will serve you well for the rest of your life. I've watched those habits compound over time, much like the interest in my retirement accounts. The key takeaways of this video are on compound interest, employer matching with 401k, Roth IRAs and HSAs, along with their benefits on taxes. It's better to start small, create a habit of finance as early in your life as possible, diversification, and building multiple streams of income. It has managed to hold onto this casual tone throughout the content of practical, actionable advice based on real-world experience and financial expertise.